Hello, friends. We are live. It is Tuesday, March 21st, 2023. It is the day of Mars. It is an Aries new moon. It is a time for doing you. I'm going to be 100% transparent with y'all. I woke up, I had an incredible morning, sort of. I woke up with like a horrible migraine. Like I had had a migraine developing in my sleep, which doesn't happen so much anymore, but it happens on occasion. And so woke up with this migraine, whatever, went to yoga, did a little bit of reading, had the pleasure of doing a flow with my friend Natalie from my YTT class. So hi Natalie, it was so great to flow with you this morning. I don't often get like people joining me for a 6 a.m. yoga class. So that was really fun. But like total transparency, like I came home, had a great morning with my daughter, and she said something right as we were leaving. And I knew she was talking about this guy. I live in Florida, and I don't know what it is about Florida, and especially like this area that I live in, it's like kind of bougie. And so people are always there's just always the whole street is taken up by like lawn care workers, right? So people who are like landscaping and using fucking leaf blowers. And oh my God, there is just something, hey Anna, there is just something about the sound of a leaf blower, and it's that incessant just like noise. It drives me absolutely insane. Now I am trying to practice some of the things that I'm learning in my YTT class. And these are not necessarily like new concepts, but something that I'm really trying to be conscientious of during this YTT experience is like the difference between knowing something intellectually and actually practicing it. Big difference, y'all, especially when it comes to stuff like this, especially when it comes to, because yoga is so much more than the movement practice. Like that is just asana. Like when we're talking about, hey, Ebony, when we're talking, I'm so excited to see you later. Oh my gosh, it's our first day of Audacity to Ascend. But yeah, just like my daughter, she said something about this like lawn care worker this morning, and she's like, oh, I'm really glad that he was on this side of the building when we were waking up, because otherwise he's going to be on the other side of the building. And I'm just like, oh, fuck. Like she's saying that, and that means that he's going to be on my side of the building when I'm trying to prepare for my daily transition. And so it's like 8:58, and I'm like standing up at this window with just like my hands on my head, like not like, out of 10 aggression or anything like that, but just like my headache is returning, my zen is not here, I am not practicing prakriti, right? Drawing the senses inward. And that is, I'm not going to blame it on the Aries new moon, but I guess if I wanted to be that person, then I would. But yeah, just what a morning, y'all. The Aries new moon may have you in your feelings. Aries new moon on a day of Mars, because it is Tuesday. There is so much happening right now. And I'm not even going to get into the politics of it all. Like, I'm not even going to get into that today, because let's just see what happens. But what I wrote about this in my Substack last night. And after Audacity to Ascend today, later, I plan on writing something for my paid subscribers to give you like a contemplation or an intention maybe to set for your Aries new moon season, because new moons are times of planting seeds. They are times of beginning something anew, and it's a 6-month period, right, that we go from the new moon to the full moon. And so when we circle back around, we'll be able to come back to these intentions. Now, here's the thing. I actually had one of my clients message me about this yesterday, or maybe the day before, because in my 2023 digital planner, you have all of the things in advance. Like, when retrogrades are happening, you know, when sign changes are happening, you know, when new moons and full moons are and things like that. And so she was looking ahead at her planner and she's like, hey, like FYI, you put 2 Aries new moons this season, right? So it's like Aries new moon today and then like the next new moon. And I was like, no, that's actually correct. We have 2 Aries new moons this year. Yes, you heard that right. We have Aries new moon right now, which is at the like very, very beginning of the sign. And if we want to, I can pull it up, right? Because the sun moved into Aries yesterday. So we're talking about this new moon being at, I mean, we can pull it up specifically, but like it is at, 0 degrees. 0 degrees. So we're talking about the very entrance of the sign. So when we have another new moon later this month, or I actually don't know exactly what the date is, but we have the next new moon, it will be still in Aries, but it'll be at 29 degrees Aries. So we've got heightened new moon points and 2 of them, right? Because the 0 degrees and 29 degrees of any sign are what we consider like sensitive points. And so we have like, I'm going to come back and reflect on our second Aries new moon when we get there. And that'll be in April. But what I really want to impress to you at this time is that this Aries new moon is very much about reaffirming your commitments to yourself. Okay. Aries new moons, or Aries in general, Aries season is inherently, I don't want to call it selfish, but it's supposed to be a little, a little. Aries represents what you want to do, right? Your motivations, the way that you take action, your inner like masculine side, your inner warrior, if you will. And so, you know, something that we've been emphasizing a lot in YTT is that in order for us to be in warrior, whether it is Virabhadrasana A, Virabhadrasana B, that warriors are something you can't like push them over. You cannot push over, like if you are wobbly in your warrior, you are not a strong warrior. And so that's the energy of Aries, is strong, stable, warrior, like commitment and motivation. Now, how does this play into everything else that's going on this week? Because y'all, we've got so much going on. We have Pluto moving into Aquarius, which I'm not even going to say like it's moving signs. This is like a preview window. It's like a sneak preview of the next 20 years, because this is only going to be a 3-month time frame. Again, I'm not going to comment necessarily on predictions, especially when it comes to politics and society right this second, because I want to see where things are going just a little bit more. I'm going to cross my fingers though and say, let's all have a little bit of collective belief that student loans are going to be done. They're going to be erased in June. Okay. And if not June, then maybe it's like November. But June will be a big month. This month is a big month. June will be a big month. Prepare accordingly. When I say prepare accordingly, thank God we have, again, just like the good Lord helping us out with these astrological like movements, because we also have Mars finally moving signs after like 7 months. Y'all, Mars doesn't like being in Gemini to begin with, let alone Mars in Gemini for 7 fucking months, because we've had this insane retrograde period. Mars moves into Cancer later this week. I feel like I have this written down, Friday. So Mars moves into Cancer on Friday. This is really great news, in my opinion, because again, I firmly believe that we have this opportunity for 2 Aries new moons this year because we're going to need it. The first one, this one is for you. You have got to get it through your head that if you are not taking care of yourself, you cannot serve or give at any level of quality. Now, that's not to say like, okay, every day is a bubble bath and like every day is, you know, a day of just like laying in bed and being whatever. No, this is like dedicate yourself to whatever it is that makes you feel good, and not just like in your feelings, but like energetically. Like it doesn't feel good. Like, I mean, I don't know, I guess it depends on your definition of feeling good, but like when I am, you know, 35, 40 minutes into my yoga practice and it's a hot room and we are sweating and we are pushing, you know, yes, I always have the option of like taking it down a notch for myself and dropping into child's pose and like whatever. I get to decide what is right for my body. But like, there is also a lot of value in pushing. Okay. There is a lot of value in dedicating yourself to whatever it is that's going to fill your cup. Okay. Whether it is like fun, enjoyable, feels good is not always like as important, you know. Like I was telling somebody at YTT this weekend, my stepmom, like God bless her, she doesn't eat vegetables. She just doesn't like them. And so like her definition of eating vegetables is like canned corn and potatoes. And I'm just like, just because you don't like something, it's not like the greatest, you're not eating candy, doesn't mean you don't do this. Like your body is suffering because you're not taking good care of yourself. Now, what it is, like, that's all completely subjective. Like, I'm not telling you like to get on a specific diet or develop a specific movement practice, or like that all has to be completely subjective. Like some people love circuit training, love Pilates, love that shit. Absolutely not. Oh my gosh. And if I hate it, I'm not going to do it. But something being uncomfortable is not the same as something being painful. We talked about that last week. Okay. This new moon is your time to rededicate to what it is that makes you feel good, motivated, abundant. Okay. Because as we get this preview window of Pluto and Aquarius, as we move further into Aries season, we are being called. You already feel it. I know you're here because you feel it. Something big is coming. Yes, you're right. This is like one of those times, you know, that scene from Hamilton. It's like the story of tonight. They'll tell the story of tonight. That's how I feel about this moment, which technically, like, that was like mirror image, because they were also leaving Pluto in Capricorn with Pluto entering Aquarius. That was the last time that this happened. So this is like, we're going to look back at this moment and be like, wow, like we were part of that. Like we were part of this moment in history. We were part of the revolution. Like it's going to be fucking awesome. But for you to be able to give your best, you have to be your best. You cannot, like, the whole thing that we were supposed to learn with Saturn and Aquarius these last 3 years, because Saturn has finally moved its way into Pisces, thank baby Jesus, literally and figuratively. But the whole thing that we were supposed to be learning with Saturn and Aquarius is that in order for the collective to operate at its best, the individual health and wellness has to be prioritized. Like, individuals are what make up the collective. And if we have individual sickness, if we have individual suffering, then the collective cannot do its job and move forward. Like, in order for us to progress, right, as a society, we have to take care of ourselves individually. That's what Saturn and Aquarius was supposed to be teaching us. So now with Pluto moving into Aquarius, I need to let you know, like, you feel exhausted every day. You're like, oh my gosh, dinner again? Like this, we say this all the time. Like, we have to like still eat. Like we haven't evolved here yet. Like I am so tired of figuring out what I'm going to eat today. This is by design. Like, your days are filled the way that they are, because that's what serves like the people in power. Like that's what serves the current like structures, is because if you're exhausted, if you're depleted, if you are not getting the space to fill your own energetic cup nutritionally, just spending time in the sun. Okay. Like if you don't get this time for yourself, you cannot, your brain is exhausted. Like by the end of your day, you have made so many small decisions internally that you no longer have the ability to make more decisions. And if you can't make more decisions, then you can't strategize your way out of the current situation. We cannot work together as a collective, because we are individually being like broken down and given too many individual responsibilities. Like this whole concept of like, be independent, like every American having our own house. Like this is all a capitalistic like marketing tool. Because that, like, if everybody has their own house, if everybody has their own, then everybody has to have their own everything. You have to have your own beds and your own couches and your own everything, your own appliances. You have to have your own electric bill and your own everything. Whereas like if we were 3 generations living in a home, or if we were living more communally, like that just wouldn't be the case. You know, you wouldn't be so exhausted trying to figure out like every single thing. Like you wouldn't be responsible for all your laundry and all your food and all your grocery shopping and all your like you wouldn't be responsible for everything, because it would be shared responsibility. Okay. So with that said, with that recognition, I'm not saying like throw away all of your possessions and go join a commune. Not unless that's something that serves you. My early 20s, that was definitely something that served me in a higher capacity, and I loved it. But at this stage of my life, that's not necessarily something that's going to work for me. So what do I have to do is not allow the societal programming to get to me. Okay. And thankfully, Mars coming into Cancer in a couple of days is going to help boost this energy for you, because Mars in Cancer is the energy of nurturing. It's the energy of taking care of oneself. Like my daughter has Mars in Cancer, and she has always just been so motivated to like taking care of other people. She's always so concerned about how like everyone is feeling. And so I love this energy of like us being motivated to care for one another. But along with that, and our Aries new moon this season, this is a really good opportunity for you to commit to what are things that are like top priority for me. Like I take care of my yoga practice, my spiritual practice, my like taking care of my body. I do all of that first. And that is just because that's what makes me feel like I can move into the rest of my day, like from a place of center and balance. You know, yeah, the fucking lawn care dude took me out for like 30 whole seconds. But maybe if I hadn't done all of everything to take care of myself first, like maybe he would have taken, like that would have taken me out for a lot longer. Maybe I wouldn't have been able to collect myself and come here, you know, as quickly. And that's just like what it's all about. Like we get so taken out of our own sense of like purpose and solidarity and commitment to what it is that we want to do, because we are like just inundated with bullshit all fucking day, whether that is like actual distractions and things like just permeating our space, and it's too much information, or whether you are like taking that societal programming and putting it on yourself. Like this was the end of my post that I wrote yesterday on my Substack, was like, you're not doing anyone any favors by turning yourself into a martyr, right? So like no one is getting the best version of you or what you have to give by depriving yourself of whatever it is you require to take care of yourself. Like, oh, I can't go to yoga every day, or I can't do my yoga practice because I need to do this, or I need to do like literally there are so many rules that we place on ourselves that we just like oh, no, I can't do that because that's selfish, or because I have to earn it. It's like, I've got to do this first and then I can do for me. It's like, I remember so much growing up, like my stepmother would, anytime she would buy something for herself, like, and it could be as small as like a $5 t-shirt, she would have to like verbally justify it to me, to herself, to anyone who may have seen the fact that she bought something for herself. It was like, oh, well, it was on sale and I have like 5 shirts that are, too small now or whatever. And it's like, why are we doing all of this mental gymnastics to like do something for ourselves, or I have to, why do I have to justify this to myself? And so that is a big part of what I really just want you to take away from this today. Again, I'm going to write a little bit more on Substack later about, especially when we get into like your rising sign. So like more specific intentions that maybe you'd want to feel into or contemplate for this Aries new moon season. But like the boilerplate like concept that I just really want you to take away from this is that in order for us to do what comes next, in order for us to step into the revolution without like making what we do like it's not gonna overnight. That's not how this is going to work. And because it's not something that happens that way, we can't wait to take care of ourselves or wait to prioritize our own mental, spiritual, emotional, physical health until the mission is complete, or until we've got, our demands met or whatever. Like, no, it's got to be, we take the fuck care of ourselves individually. I take care of myself so that I can be my best and give my best when I'm here for the collective. Okay, so I would really like you to take a look at this from a holistic perspective. Okay, I mean, one of the first exercises that I used to give to my clients, and I may even like reintroduce this, especially for my Audacity to Ascend fam that we start today, is to really break down the different like areas of your life, not in a judgmental way whatsoever, but more in a observational, like on a scale of 1 to 10, when it comes to my relationship to my physical body, how satisfied am I with this relationship right now? With 1 being, this is fucking terrible, and 10 being, I love my body and I take care of myself every day physically, right? And whether that's what you're consuming, whether that's how you're moving, whether that's literally just your relationship to your body. Are you speaking kindly about your body? Are you thinking kindly about your body? So that's the physical. We've got emotional, mental, intellectual, spiritual, social, and what's the last one? Did I say emotional? Whatever. Vocational. That was the last one. So when it comes to these 6 areas of your life, on a scale of 1 to 10, without it being like, ugh, I suck, or like, I'm not giving myself enough, just like literally, how satisfied are you with your relationship to yourself in each of these different areas? And what would you like to do to grow that, right? Wherever it is that you notice that there's like, some of them are going to be like off the charts, 10 out of 10, like you're doing amazing, sweetie, we love it. Some of them are going to be like, oh, wow, I'm not really taking care of myself here. Why is that? Like, where am I bargaining with myself, or where am I deprioritizing my own needs? What is it that I think that I'm going to get out of that? What is it that I think that I need to do in order to be worthy of taking care of myself here? And then what is it that I actually do want to have? What would that look like for me to be 10 out of 10 satisfied with this here? So like, I can tell you, for example, I'm a Gemini rising. If you're a Gemini rising, hey, this new moon and this Aries season, this is coming over our 11th house. The 11th house happens to actually be the house of Aquarius. So we've been talking about this quite a bit, but this is the house of social groups, However, not just like friends you want to hang out with. Ideally, these are people that we enjoy being around because we're going to have to work together. But the 11th house is more of the house of like, I always say your comrades. And I guess that's because I'm kind of a communist. Like it's about the people that you want to like work together with to build the future with. So these are people that you would consider to be like part of your community. These are people that you would consider to be like your allies and your, supporters, that we have the same values, that we have a shared vision of what it is that we want to create in the future. And so with this new moon happening here, like I need to take care of myself so that I can be at my best mentally, spiritually, emotionally, so that I can be out here and find more people that I want to create my better future with. I've been doing this, I guess, being like my job and whatever, alone for a long time. I had a very brief moment where I hired people, and it was mostly because I was like running a business that I didn't really want to even be part of. So we won't unpack that today, but I've mostly been doing this by myself for a really long time. And what I know now and what I'm realizing now, and the vision of what it is that I want to create, I'm not going to be able to do it alone. It's not just something that I can still do my alone things, but big picture, I'm going to need allies. I'm going to need community. And so I am doing anytime right now that I get invitations from, like, we've got this big like group chat with my YTT group. It's like 14 of us all in here, or 15 of us all in this group chat. And if I get an invitation or a message from someone like, hey, we're doing, the 4:15 flow class on Friday, and then we're going to do the food truck after. Do you want to come? I'm like, yes, I do. Yes, I do. And I'm not always like the most social person. I know that it seems like that. And like just the other day, actually at YTT, she was like, do you feel like you when I watch these videos? And that was something that really, like, thank you very much for that, because I have always felt like I'm like maybe 40% me in real life, like 40% of what you see here. And maybe it's like I can turn it on a little bit more and like turn it off for the internet. When I'm done with this, like I've got a couple of hours that I can break and pause and not talk to anybody and collect my thoughts before I teach my class later. And I'm going to need to keep that in mind as I move into this season where I want to say yes to more opportunities to be with people that I want to build a future with, to be in community with people that are like-minded and share that, similar vision. However, if I also know that I'm someone who can be easily drained, or maybe even easily, like, I wouldn't say triggered, but like I get really insecure, y'all. Like we're the same, my brain, right? My mind tries to tell me things to keep me small and to keep me comfortable and to keep me whatever. And like, in order for me to have the willpower and the strength to say, hey, like thinking brain, you little ego, you, like, I know you're just trying to protect me, but ultimately, like, I'm still going to do this thing. In order for me to have that like conversation with myself in my head and move forward in a place of confidence, got to take care of myself, got to put me first. I've got to do that in order for me to be able to maintain that, because when you don't, your cortisol is high, you're in fight or flight, and you cannot see opportunities. You're not thinking clearly. You are singularly focused on getting your body back into a place of safety. And so if I prioritize my movement practice, if I prioritize breath work, if I prioritize decreasing the caffeine that I intake, if I prioritize my spiritual practices, I'm going to be able to do more of what this next season is calling me to do. So with that said, I love y'all. What a great Tuesday. Can we just say the energy of Fani when the moon is in Pisces versus the energy of Fani any other moment, but especially when the moon is in Aries, like night and day, which is again why I pretty much just take Pisces moon days off. Know thyself, y'all. Okay. I will see you tomorrow at 9 a.m. for another daily transmission. Again, this is a full week. Go subscribe to my Substack. I'm going to be posting about the Aries new moon in greater detail on Substack this afternoon, and we'll include intentions for each of the rising signs for paid subscribers. So get on that list. The link is in my bio, and I will see you tomorrow for another daily transmission. Bye, friends.